Eamonn, thank you so much for joining us on Bloodline today. If we look back at the last season, 2009-2010, and in terms of sales for Bloodstock in South Africa, how have we fared from this season versus last season?
We had the national sales in April, and around the world we were the only sale that we broke the record, the previous record sales price. Our average was up as well. So South Africa, in a world scale, fared better than every other nation.
And why would you say that is?
I basically, what I think is that there was a very nice crop of horses for sale. I think the South African breeders, they brought some beautiful individuals to the sales, and the buyers were there. We had a little bit of trouble with the volcano just beforehand.
Right.
That was going to stop some of our international, but all in all, it was the good horses were there.
So no real effects from the recession?
Well, I think the recession has hit a lot of the other sales, and it's been very hard around the world. But South Africa has been hit as well. The other regional sales were down. It's been, it has been a tough year for Bloodstock.
But are we more cost effective as a country versus international sales?
Well, to have a horse and training here in South Africa, you can probably have 3 for the price of 1 anywhere else in the world, in the big nations. So.
Okay. That makes sense. Right. Let's look at some of the highlights of the season, shall we? I think if we look at the Equius Awards, I mean, there's certainly one person who completely dominated the evening, and of course we're talking about Mr. Mike de Kock. 9 trophies and a total earnings of a record 22.2 million in stakes. Truly a remarkable season for Mike.
Yeah, fantastic season. I don't really think South Africa understands and really knows Mike de Kock.
Yeah.
Mike de Kock is probably one of the best sportsmen that South Africa has. He is, around the world, he probably is regarded better, and people have so much respect for the man around the world. And maybe it's just that he's not that well known around here, but he's a fantastic trainer. He's probably one of the best trainers in the world.
And he's certainly putting us on the map, right?
He's been going overseas for the last few years, and they actually fear him when he goes over, because he as I said, he is one of the best trainers in the world. He's bringing the horses from South Africa. He's competing in Dubai. Yeah. He's been champion trainer there. He's something else, in fairness to the man.
Well, talking about Mike de Kock, let's talk about Irish Flame, your horse of the year, trained by Mike de Kock.
Yeah, there was a horse called Pierre Jourdain was going for the Triple Crown this year. Right. It would have been the first horse. There's a horse called Horse Chestnut.
That's it.
And it's a nice little fairy tale to have a horse going for the Triple Crown, and he was beaten in the last leg of it by Irish Flame, trained by Mike. And
so it's still not won by anyone.
No, it's still not. It's up every year. You know what I mean? It's a very hard thing to do, and the Alexanders did a great job with Pierre Jourdain, and then maybe Mike came on the day and sort of spoiled the party
It's always like that, isn't it? There's so many variables on the day. It's the weather, it's the jockey, it's the animal itself, that anything can happen, isn't it?
Well, I think it's so, I think when you actually win a race, when you own a horse and you win a race, it's a very special thing. Yeah. And, it's so hard to do. And especially at that top level, it's for those horses, they're not machines. Yeah. For them to put it in, every time they go to the track is amazing.
Let's look at River Jatez. What an amazing story. I mean, she's been living in her brother, Pocket Power's shadow for so long, and she took the J&B Met.
Yeah, it was a fantastic day. It's a great story. It was sad for the connections that Pocket Power Marsh shortlisted.
But still, I mean, they still celebrated with River Jatez.
And Mother Russia, from a very bad draw, came second.
Right. Yeah.
2 fillies, against the Colts. It was a fantastic day's race, and it was a great result for racing. Oh
yes, and it just shows you once again anything is possible. Let's look at, of course, Margaret and Ingrid Jooste. 3 years running, owner of the year. No surprises there. What do you think they can attribute their successes? Is it the amount of horses that they own?
Well, I think they have a very good, the whole way they work with Claver Flay. I just think they have a good system. They have some good trainers. They have a lot of horses, but it's great to see a man getting rewards that put so much into the game. He deserves 100%. it. He's so good for South African racing, and it's nice to see him on an Equus night and getting an award.
Well, he's got Charles Laird and he's got Anton Marcus on his side, and Anton Marcus again with the Equus Awards champion jockey for the year,
Yeah,
or for the season again.
Again, you know, the
So it's a good
jockeys.
team, right?
It's a great team. You know, they're a very good team, and it's great to see them. You know, getting that little trophy that they can put on the mantelpiece or whatever.
Champion breeders, no surprises again. 6-year running, Summerhill. Your thoughts on what makes them a successful breeding farm?
Well, I think it's, you know, there's a lot of the top stallions are down in the Cape and all that, and then Summerhill is in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah.
It just shows, you know, the horses can be bred anywhere. Like KwaZulu-Natal is a very good place to breed horses. Ascot Stud was just below them in Port Elizabeth. They had a fantastic year from a very small band of mares. You know, Summerhill is a fantastic, you know, stud farm, and South Africa are lucky to have them.
Let's look in terms of foreign investment. We've seen the likes of Sheikh Al Maktoum, you know, investing in local stock. What do you think it is? Okay, yes, we spoke about price point, but it seems like, you know, the investment into South Africa, it seems like, you know, it's putting us on the map. What is the uptake from a foreign perspective in terms of investment?
Well, I think that South Africa, as a nursery ground to train horses, is probably the best nursery ground in the world.
I like that saying. Please elaborate on that.
It's a pretty big statement, but basically the trainers, like it's great talking about Mike de Kock and all these guys, but there's a lot of very good trainers in South Africa. There's good jockeys in South Africa. The breeders breed a very good horse. It's very, I'm not going to say cheap to have a horse in training. You know, it is on par with around the world.
Right.
But the facilities are very good here. People can invest. They can then take the horses and compete around the world, like Mike has been doing for years. Herman Brown as well has done it for years, and campaign them overseas. So
what is the standard? Will they take them out of the country only after a year, or basically yearlings? Well,
they'll race at 2. Some will race at 3, and then they will go and compete the big races around the world. Right. And the amazing thing is, and I don't think South Africans understand this, that when they go overseas, they can stand up against the best in America, they can stand up the best in Dubai, and they can stand up the best in Europe.
And on the flip side of the coin, Eamonn, are we seeing a lot of foreign horses coming into the country?
No, you don't see that many foreign horses coming in. There is restrictions with a disease called African horse sickness that is actually not very well known around the world. It sort of scares people. It's not as bad as everyone thinks it is. So that stops South Africa getting international horses in. But if international horses came in here and competed, it's not going to be easy for them.
Because we've got the best of the best, right?
I would have to think so. I came from Ireland to be here, so I must have faith in the industry, you know, and the people in the industry here are very good. I personally think they breed a very good type of horse. The facts are there that they can compete around the world. Yeah. I wouldn't have come if I didn't have faith in them.
So we've got lots to look forward to. Any predictions in closing for next season? What can we be looking forward to?
Well, we would hope that Mike de Kock and Herman Brown have a fantastic season in Dubai. They've taken a lot of the top horses that ran here, like Irish Fame, Bowl, Silvano, to Dubai. Dubai is the international carnival. We would hope that they have a very good season. Then we have our own horses at home here, and we would hope that this, you know, it'd be nice to see Pierre Jourdain coming out and winning. But there's been a great crop of 2-year-olds last year, so, you know, last season, and it'd be just great to see those coming on and being very good 3-year-olds.
It all remains to be seen. Eamonn, thank you so much from Bloodstock SA for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.